Okay, now it's time to assemble the control panel. Some of the things that you're going to need, we applied the graphics, and we put on the T-molding in an earlier step. You need your plexiglass. Now, these are sent with the plastic over them, but I wasn't thinking. I took it off, and the camera wasn't rolling. So anyways, and one of these little nut wrenches are pretty nice. You can get them from a lot of different places. I got mine from T-molding since I was ordering T-molding anyways, so I got a couple extra. You want an 11/32 socket. I just get a little hand wheel, which works pretty nice. You need a Phillips head screwdriver. You'll also need the packet and joystick from your hardware kit. You just take it out of a little package. And then also the buttons that you ordered from Amazon with the link provided in the parts list. Now, I'll show you why these buttons are pretty important. You know, trying to make a mini arcade from a full-size arcade parts, it's kind of difficult to do. So, the buttons are a lot longer. Then you got the micro switch sitting out on the end. Then you're plugging in wires, so it sticks out a lot further, so we just don't have the room. But these buttons are perfect. The 30mm, but you can see they're short. They have built-in LEDs. The wires don't stick out as bad or as far, and they're really nice buttons. So we have no problems with those. So let's start with this. First thing, we want to clean off the graphics. So once you put this plexiglass down, you're going to see, maybe your friends won't, but you're going to know there's dust underneath it. And you got to get this just nice and clean. And then this is going to go on this way, so we're going to clean this side. And just make sure. I use a microfiber. You really don't want to use paper towels, because paper towels actually will scratch the plastic, and that's the last thing you want on there as well. And then you also, when this thing's assembled, you want to clean it also with the microfiber, because if you squirt like Windex or something on there, it's going to get underneath the buttons, and then it's going to have little wet circles around everything. So, because there is no rubber washer under here keeping any fluid from getting under it. So anyways, now we're going to clean the top, and this will tell us how clean it is underneath. So we have one little spot there. Actually, boy, this came out really good for a shot. Yeah, that's pretty clean. So I want to stick one button in here, just to hold everything together. Now, when you're putting these together, you want to keep everything in the same orientation. Now, I always like to have, see how these buttons are? I like to have those pointing up. And I'm not going to put this on really tight just yet. So this is just going to hold the plexiglass in place while we get the joystick in there. So, and we get the joystick. And wire. So now when we put the joystick in, a lot of people think, let's put it this way because this wire is going to be here, but we're going to actually put our zero delay encoder as far down the side as we can. So we want to try to keep it like this over in the corner, and this thing just fits in. It's just perfect fit, so it's not going to come out, but we're still going to put screws in it anyways. So let's just pop these screws in. And cut this plastic all the way. So, and let me just get it in there. Okay, so we have these in. Now I'm just going to start these. And these are nylon lock washers, so they're not going to ever back out on you. You just got to make sure that the nylon portion is on the top. Yeah, you don't want to drop one of these because you didn't get any extra in your kit. And if it gets loose in your shop, yeah, you're going to have a heck of a time finding it. Well, there we go. And I'm just starting these. And I'll finish them up. Now, all right, so just make sure this is going in the proper direction. And then I'm just going to hold this on the side. And I'm just getting them so they're snug. They don't have to be super tight, not at all. As I said, there's a nylon lock washer on there, so it is not backing up. And the way the joystick fits in there so tightly, again, there's really no danger of it loosening up ever. Yeah, the last one. Oops. There we go. And now that joystick is in there. And then we can put this little plastic piece on. On the inside here, we have a red ball. You know what? I'm going to wait to put that on to last. So let's, now inside this kit, you'll see two smaller buttons. These are 24 millimeter diameter. And those are for the coin and start button. And there's a little trick to these. And again, we want to keep the same orientation. So I'm going to turn it this way so it's pointed up. And I'm going to put this in. Now see how this is kind of close to the other button? So when I go to put this one on this side, I actually have to flip this nut upside down and I'm just going to hand tighten it. And that's so I can get clearance here. So now we're going to go ahead and put the rest of the buttons in. And then we'll end up with two extra buttons on this one. So unfortunately with the Mini, we can't have admin buttons in the front. So what we do is we set this as in RetroPie, we'll set this as the hotkey. So then you can hot X over and you can hot over to the start and exit the games. All right, so I'm gonna put this here. Just get it snug for now. Make sure that's pointed in the same direction. Okay. Make sure this is in the same direction. It's kind of boring, but it's getting there. Oops. Yeah, if it turns a little bit on you, it's really not going to matter all that much, but it's just nice to know. All right, I'm going to tighten that one. And tighten. Oops. I kind of turned a little bit. There we go. Tightened. 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 Now we're going to put this last little guy in. Now let's turn this to correct orientation. There we go. And now you can see now we have to put it on upside down. Because otherwise, see, I don't know if you can see that there. So it's very difficult to get past that one. I'm just gonna hand tighten it really good. It's not gonna go anywhere. And there we go. So that is done. So now let's flip it over. We have our joystick wire. Now this can only go on one way. You see the two little tabs. There's two little openings right here. So it just goes right in there. There. And what else we got here? We got a 0 delay encoder, USB, wires, and more wires, and instructions. So, I put these together a lot of times, but you want to keep these kind of handy so where you can see it. And if you look in here, you can see where this is the side that we put up top, and then you have your ground, red wire, and then these are for your LEDs on the bottom, and this is for your signal wire up top. So these will be for your LED wires, and these will be for your signal wires for the button clicks. You just want to be careful when you take these off. They put wire ties on there, which is, it's a real pain. And you got to get under there just right without like cutting your finger or cutting any wires. There we go. And then, of course, the 0 delay encoder. There we go. And these are kind of the new style. I actually like the 3-wire ones. It just makes it a lot easier for when you're wiring these up and you don't have to daisy chain something like this. But it is what it is. This is what we got. So if you look at the bottom, you could be confused by these two, since these two are actually the same size. So you're going to think, well, I could put this in here. But if you look over at the side, you can see this is ground, AL, AR, so this is up, down, left, right. So, and then this one over here says ground, DP, DN, VDD. So this is actually for USB. That's for the joystick. So when you plug this in, if we can get it around here, you want to plug it in here. Just like that. Now our wires. So now following these instructions, if we look at the back side, you'll see this says K1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, K7 and 8, select and start. So we're only through 1 through 6. We don't care about 7 and 8, and then a select and start. So let's take our first wire, and we'll just start for the buttons. So we're going to go K1, which is here, and then you see the notch, it goes in. It can only go in one way, just snaps in place. Now if you look over, and if we're playing this, this is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So that's button 1, button 2, button 3, button 4, button 5, button 6. So since this is the K1, we're going to put this in here. Now when you put these on, they go on with this facing up. And if you see in here, see there's this little tab. So if you had to pull those off again, you grab it, hit this with your fingernail, press down, and it just comes right off. And what it does, it snaps into this little hole. I don't know if you can see it there. So, and that's in there. So now we're gonna go around, do the rest of these. Here's button 2. So again, we're going to put the red on the right side, and we're putting ground on the left. And then we're going to go button 3. Button 3, red, left. And here, this side. Then we're button 4, which now we're coming back down to the here. You know, some of you probably, you know, I'm not trying to assault your intelligence or anything. You might already know all this, but, you know, this is just for the people that don't know. So, I'm going to put that in. All right. So, 5. So we're almost done with these anyways. And you can see why I wanted to position all these in just about the same orientation, because it just makes it a lot easier when you're putting these together. All right, so here we go. Last button of the 6. Red goes in the right. All right, so now we're going to look on the back here. So we know we're skipping button 7 and 8. So the select button, which is that one. So we're going select. And then just double check you got it in the right one. And that comes up to our coin button. So coin is select. And now we'll hook up the start button, which is right next to it. So red, whoops. I'm trying to keep the wires organized so when I'm done, I could put some wire ties on them and clean them up a little bit instead of all the wires just hanging out. So that's it. We end up with 3 extra. So we got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and 2. So we have 3 wires extra, so that's always nice to have. So now when you daisy chain these, there's going to be extra on here. So what you want to do is you start out, and these little red ones is actually for the LED lights. So you want to plug that in first, and then start with the very first ones. And if you look at your diagram here, it says the red one goes under the red, and then the black goes underneath the other black. So, and we can pretty much start out wherever we want. So I'm going to just start out with button 1. I'm going to go button 1, plug it in. Yeah, and then it's going to go in. All right. There we go. And let me find the next one. So, all right, I'm just going to go under, and I'm going to daisy chain around. So I have red going here, black going here, red going here, black, here. And I'm going to go black. Kind of went out of order, but that's all right. And jump up over here. Red. And black. And now jump over here. Red. And black. Now we jump to these two buttons. So we go red and black. There we go. Now the last one, which is, so while we do this, I take a pair of wire cutters, and now that I know all these buttons have wires on, they all have wires on, I only have one left, so before I do that, I'm going to snip the wire right here. And one of the reasons is you don't want these other ends, which are going to be positive, hot, banging around and touching something. So there's no chance that we're going to need any more because that's all the buttons we have. So I just snip it off. And now I put these on. And then the red. And now we'll test the buttons out just to make sure they all light up. So I'm going to take this out and plug one end into it. Now we're going to take our, well, actually we can't. So, one second. All right, I'm just gonna use my Microsoft Surface for power. Get off to the side, turn it on. And you just want a USB connection, something that's gonna feed it, and there we go. The buttons are lit up, and these are fine. And you can move the wires around, nothing shorts out. LED light there, so we're good. All right, so now we'll just take this ball. Yeah. And when you put this on, obviously, you've got this side, and then you got a little textured side. You want that up, of course. And then we just screw the ball on. Alright, then we'll just change over to a flat head, and on the back side of here we'll just put it in here and then tighten the ball up. There. Now that is done. It's not going anywhere. So the next thing we can do is just tidy up some of these wires with some wire ties. You can do it whichever way you want. Just remember when this goes down, this is going to be the front. So you don't want these wires poking out this way. You want to pull everything back and in like this. And that'll make for much easier installation later on. Okay, and that's it for this video. See you on the next one.